please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Calabrese,
Present.
Councilor Fascio,
Present.
Councilman Waldron,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Present.
Councilman Crestus,
Present.
and our solicitor is joining us by phone this evening.
May I get a motion for approval of the minutes, please?
Mayor,
Yes, Counselor.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes of the August 18th, 2025 council meeting.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second the motion.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilor Fascio,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Crestus,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Minutes approved.
May I get a motion for ratification of September expenditures and reports?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I'd like to make a motion to approve item 4, ratifying the September expenditures and reports totaling $5,026,931.08.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Crestus,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilor Fascio,
Yes.
expenses approved. Thank you and good evening for being here. We have a very full agenda, and first we have some presentations and announcements in our police department this evening. Is the representative for the Memorial Scholarship Fund here? Okay. If you could please step forward.
Brian was my younger brother, who was the Kensington officer, who was killed in the line of duty back on November 7th, 2017. My brother had an affinity for dogs.
Next on the agenda, we have a swearing in of a new addition to our canine program. And I'm looking for Cypress and her handler.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, she's so cute. You should have stayed down there. Don't let the sweetness fool you. Sorry, we should have stayed down there. You want to go down there?
No.
We need the exercise.
I would like to say raise your right paw, but
Well, she might.
this is truly an honor to be part of this. I know this was a long time coming. Detective Squares, on behalf of Cypress, please raise your right hand. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and the Home Rule Charter, and the ordinances of the Municipality of Penn Hills. I also swear that I will uphold, obey, and enforce the law without consideration to a person's race, color, sex, religious creed, sexual orientation, age, national origin, ancestry, handicap, or disability. I will perform the duties of a police officer of the Municipality of Penn Hills, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, with honesty, integrity, and fidelity. So help me God.
Right in the middle of the screen.
This is the electronic detection dog. Do you want to just give a 1 minute briefing on what the dog will do? Or does that put you on the spot?
So Cypress sniffs out transphenol phosphine oxide. It's a chemical that's on all chips in computers. That's what she's trained to smell. She was a seeing eye dog at first, and her handler gave her back because she has a little bit of head shyness. So most of the dogs that are ESD dogs, that's how they start. They start as service animals, and the trainer buys the service animal and trains them for the electronic evidence. And that's what she does. We've been on a couple search warrants already, and it's amazing. She does amazing work. It's amazing what she finds.
Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you.
Just to put that in layman's terms, when I first heard about it, I honestly didn't understand it, but apparently when people sometimes do illegal things, they may hide an electronic device behind drywall or something like that, where a traditional search would not be able to detect that sort of criminal activity, but our new officer can literally sniff that out. As the mayor of Penn Hills, on behalf of council and the municipality of Penn Hills, we are commending the following three Penn Hills police officers for their heroic efforts displayed on August 9th, 2025. Will you please rise? Officer Patrick Ford, Officer Evan McNonan, and Sergeant Turek. In the early morning hours of Saturday, August 9th, 2025, at approximately 12:42 a.m., a house fire was reported at 1 Wexford Lane. Penn Hills Police Department Sergeant Turek, Officer Ford, and Officer McNonan responded to the scene within minutes of dispatch and were confronted with a fully involved fire-consuming 4 vehicles and the attached garage. Without hesitation, the officers conducted a rapid 360-degree exterior search of the property, recognizing that the residence was most likely occupied. Demonstrating exceptional courage and disregard for their own safety, they entered the burning structure, which was heavily charged with toxic smoke. Systemically searching room by room, they called out to potential occupants until they were located. Their swift actions ensured that the 2 residents, both asleep at the time and without the protection of functioning smoke detectors, were safely removed from the home. Our fire chief Fire Marshal Dr. Charles Miller states that it is without question that had these officers not acted as decisively and selflessly as they had, the occupants would most have likely succumbed to smoke inhalation. Their conduct exemplifies the highest traditions of law enforcement: courage under pressure, commitment to public safety, and selfless service to others. Your actions on August 9th, 2025 will stand as a testament to your dedication to the community and will serve as an example to your fellow officers and our citizens alike. We offer this with sincere gratitude and congratulations. Please come forward. On behalf of council and all of Penn Hills, we offer this certificate of recognition. This certificate is presented for exemplary service and commitment to public safety in the community of Penn Hills. Officer Patrick Ford, presented on the 13th day of October, 2025. Thank you so much again. Officer Evan McNonan, thank you so very much. Sergeant Ryan Turek, thank you so very much. Thank you. And we'll get you a copy of this for your, each of you will have a copy of this for your own, suitable for framing. Thank you so very much. Yes.
I am always so very proud to support our Penn Hills Police Department. I think we have one of the best police departments in all of Allegheny County, and this demonstrates why I stand so strong for them. You guys put your life on the line to save others. May God bless you and continue to keep you forever safe. Thank you.
We thank you once again. We are forever grateful to you. You risked your lives for our safety. Thank you so very much. We are truly grateful to you.
Next on the agenda is the portion set aside for residents that
Let-
signed up for.
Let me interrupt you for just a moment, if I might. I once heard that a bishop once said there was a baby crying in the audience, and the mother picked up the baby to leave, and the bishop said, "Oh, excuse me, ma'am, you don't, the baby's not bothering me." And she turned around and said, "No, you're bothering the baby." So please feel free to, if, we're going on with just regular business, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
That's
you.
okay. Next on the agenda is the portion dedicated to residents that signed up a week in advance to address council on non-agenda items. And we had 2 residents that will not be appearing tonight. So in the order in which they signed up, I will call your name. Please come to the podium and speak closely to the microphone and give your name and address for the minutes. And keep in mind that the comments are limited to 3 minutes. Kathleen Walters. Is Kathleen here this evening?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Kathy Walters, and I've been a resident of Penn Hills for over 60 years. My reason to be here this evening is to advocate for our acting chief, Jason Bonace. Jason's longevity, Jason, who has been with the department for 18 years, maybe give or take a year or 2, has been a great asset. He's reached out to the people, and he's been great to his fellow man. He has been amazing since he took office as far as the acting chief. I was with a group of the police officers recently on a 90-degree day, and I saw more positive reaction from the officers than I had in a long time. My son is a Penn Hills police officer, so I know a lot of the officers personally, and what I saw was a complete turnabout in their attitude and their perspective on how to do their job. Jason has helped me personally in several ways. It was a bad winter storm one night, and I had my grandson, and he needed postcards to do his homework, and there was no way that I could get out to get the postcards. One phone call to Jason, and within an hour, I had the postcards for him to be able to do his homework. Another time, I remember there was a Christmas when there was a family who Jason and my son went on a call for, and the family, it was a domestic, and when they walked into the house, it was a few days before Christmas, and they realized that the children didn't have a Christmas tree or any toys to put under a tree. Jason immediately went out, bought the toys, bought a Christmas tree, and him and my son went back to that house and made sure that those kids had a tree with toys under them, which to me was absolutely amazing. Jason, when he came into the force, the first thing he wanted to do was he wanted to be part of the community, and I think that he's gone above and beyond to become part of the community. He loves the community. Me being here for all these years, I've seen so many changes, and the only positive change I've seen in the last 20 years is him becoming the acting chief. If you look at Jason's social media page, you never see anything negative on it. He has so many people that love him and want him in this job, and I don't think I'm just speaking for myself. I think I'm speaking for everybody that knows Jason. So I hope that Jason is going to be able to continue to be our force in this municipality as far as the police goes, because he is absolutely wonderful. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Greg Swacek.
I guess this is, okay. I just have a handout that'll help explain. Thank you.
I didn't start the timer yet.
Greg Swatchik, 648 Gramick Lane. The first page of the 3-page handout, printed on both sides, deals with the first of 3 items that I'd like to touch base on. It's a Planning Commission meeting, August 28th, 2025. In the highlighted portions, you can see that Dr. Kincaid was involved as a sequence to approve the minutes, and the motion was seconded by Ms. King, and then they asked for public comment. There were no objections from the audience, and then, of course, the vote was taken to approve. So I'd just like to suggest that we consider, before you vote to approve our minutes in council, that you ask for public comments. I would imagine there's usually never going to be any, but it would be consistent with what I think is a better procedure to make sure that we don't miss the opportunity, if someone would have it, to make a public comment, to just tighten up the, what's being approved prior to the vote. The back of that page shows that when Councilman Carestas invited you to change the structure of meetings, it took an iterative process a couple times, but eventually it was changed, and the changed version included the initial portion that I highlighted again, which says, and the public will have an opportunity to ask questions. That's after the monthly report given by the manager, which is under our new structure. One time, Mayor, if you recall, you said you didn't see me raise my hand to comment after the manager completed his report. I don't know how we're going to either technically, invite and say any public comments and then vote, or you'll look out and we'll just understood we raise our hand. Again, I think chances are no one's going to comment. But again, we should make it clear that there's an opportunity for the public to only ask a question relevant to the manager's report. And then the last page is self-explanatory. Again, Mayor, you asked the retired chief police, Como, whether or not he wrote a letter to Google. And it's self-explanatory. I believe all that were here saw that he affirmed, in fact, that he did write a letter to Google. I have a FOIA request out for it. The time limit didn't expire, but I'll just suffice it to say I'm surprised you couldn't just scan the email for, the relevant subject matter, which is probably a rare text string, and give it to me quickly. But I'll be patient to wait for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Kelly Tardy.
Okay, good evening, Mayor and council members and neighbors. My name is Kelly Tardy. I have been a homeowner on Eastwood Road for over 5 years. I am here tonight to share something that has completely changed my life and to ask for action so that it does not happen to anyone else in this community. On August 28th of 2025, during our normal afternoon walk, my dachshund Icy was brutally attacked by a Rottweiler and a pit bull that got loose from a neighbor's yard. Despite my desperate attempts to save her life, the injuries were too severe and she was killed. This was not just a random accident, it was a direct result of negligence and a failure to control and properly secure dangerous animals. The dogs that attacked my dachshund have a documented history of aggression, including the death of another neighbor's dog in April of 2025. There is also documentation of these same dogs attacking another dog just 6 days after my dog was attacked. Despite multiple warnings, the owner ignored court orders to appear before a judge. Because of that, the dog stayed in her care and my dog paid the price. The aftermath has been devastating. Me and my entire family have faced overwhelming grief and trauma. I have also been left with a $21,000 vet bill because the dog owner is a renter without rental insurance, and the property owner is not legally responsible. Far beyond the money, there is heartbreak. My dog's life mattered, and she did not deserve to die like this. I am asking the council to take action to enforce laws we already have, to hold negligent owners accountable the first time, to ensure dangerous dogs are properly managed and that consequences are not optional. At the very least, let the loss of my dog lead to change. Thank you for your time and for listening.
Ma'am, I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I'm so sorry for the loss of your dog. Would you be willing to stay and talk after the meeting?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
May I get a motion for item 7A?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
make a motion to approve item 7A, Resolution 2025-29, approving a grant application to Allegheny County Gaming Economic Development Fund for in-car dash cameras and public safety equipment.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Se-
Thank you. Any public comment? Any comment from council? Yes, please come to the microphone. Will you please come to the microphone? And I'm sorry, but for the record, you do have to state your name and address.
Just one short sentence. I forgot to thank all of you for letting Jason do this job. Really appreciated. As far as I'm concerned, and as far as anybody that knows Jason, you know this guy's going to knock it out of the park.
Thank you so much. Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Crestus,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilor Fascio,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
7A approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for item 7B?
Mayor,
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve item 7B, resolution number 2025-31, ratifying letter of support of State Route 0130 and State Route 2073 intersection improvements.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Crestus,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilor Fascio,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp.
Yes.
I get a motion for item 7C.
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I'd like to make a motion to approve item 7C, Resolution 2025-32, approving an application to the Alternative Fuels Incentive Grant Program for the purchase of electric vehicle charging stations.
I just wanted to make one clarification that although the application was submitted and it includes asking for 2 charging stations, it's also asking for a vehicle as well. So the application's asking for a vehicle with the charging stations
Thank you.
too.
So that'll correct the record. Thank you. May I get a second?
I second the motion.
Thank you. Any comment from the public?
I was told, this is Felix Cal, 223 Detour Drive. I was told that grant application had to have a minimum of 4 chargers. Why are we only applying for 2?
You're incorrect.
Am I? Can you explain?
It's 4 plugs, not 4 chargers. It has to be, 'cause
Okay.
each charger has 2 plugs.
Very well.
So
Thank
it's
you.
2 charges to get to the 4 plugs.
Thank you.
Any further public comment? Any comment from council?
Mayor,
Yes, Council.
I'd just like to commend staff, manager and staff for pulling this together. I think it's our first real step into some sustainable future for Penn Hills. And I hope it's not the last.
Thank you. Any further comment from council?
Ms. Mayor,
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I'm really hoping that we are approved of this grant because I agree with Councilwoman Fascio. This is moving Penn Hills into the future, and we really need to be moved into the future. So I'm
Yes.
hoping and looking forward to this approval.
Any further comment from council? I just echo those sentiments. I think that we are incrementally, each year, we're just improving every which way we can. Our technology, whatever it is that we have the opportunity to get grants for, I really do commend our staff for really working hard and identifying the grants and moving forward with it. Roll call, please.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilor Fascio,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Crestus.
Yes.
Item 7C approved.
May I get a motion for item 7D?
Mayor,
Yes, Counselor.
I'd like to make the motion that we approve Resolution 2025-33, approving an application to Duquesne Light for evaluation of 102 Duff Road and for associated grants and subsidies available from Duquesne Light.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? I think this is just another example. This started a while ago. This is not this particular grant, but we started with working with Duquesne Light probably, 3 years ago now, on a 5-year program. We were making each of our street lights smart lights. So it used to be that if a street light went out, somebody had to call Duquesne Light, and they would have to schedule it. Somebody from Duquesne Light would come out and look. It's working. I believe we started on Rodi Road, moving down to Frankstown Road and so forth, that eventually it will be throughout the entirety of Penn Hills where, for example, when a light goes out or there's some defect, we don't have to notify them. It will already be there will be some indication at Duquesne Light that there's a problem with the street light. And although that's really interesting and a cool move toward the future, it literally is life-saving to have these street lights where people are, we're not a walkable community necessarily, but we do have a lot of residents that walk. So although it is wonderful that we're progressing, it's also literally life-saving. Roll call, please.
Councilor Fascio,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Crestus,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Item 7D approved.
I guess there's no need to do these together. I'll have to do them separately. May I get a motion for items 7E and F?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I make a motion to approve items 7E and 7F, Resolution 2025-34 and Resolution 2025-35, approving the acquisition and subsequent disposition of vacant property located at 113 East Leamington Avenue, parcel 173-M-144, in accordance with the Allegheny County Vacant Property Recovery Program, and approving the acquisition and subsequent disposition of vacant property located at 242 St. Croix Drive, parcel 633-N-12, in accordance with Allegheny County Vacant Property Recovery Program.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Crestus,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Councilor Fascio,
Yes.
E and F approved.
May I get a motion for item 7G?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I'd like to make a motion to approve item 7G, ratify Resolution 2025-36, awarding contract to Roto-Rooter Company for storm sewer repairs on Briar Drive, Glendale Road, Duff Road, and Leechburg Road, in the total amount of $67,265.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? I'll just say briefly, this is one of those items that's on there, and it appears to be so mundane and boring and whatever, it's just going through the motions. But the reality is that we're really keeping up with the infrastructure. It may not happen on your street right now, but this is a process that takes a long time, and pardon the pun, but we have many of these in the pipeline. Again, these are not just nice things that are happening. These are things that literally are for public health and public safety. Often we hear in the city of Pittsburgh or some other communities where someone's driving down the road, for example, and they fall into a sinkhole. We don't have those sorts of things. We're trying to keep up with all of this, and we are, or things like in the wintertime, if there's not proper water flow, where ice would occur, and then you have people literally who slide on ice and get into accidents. This is public health and safety, and often can actually be life-saving. Roll call, please.
Councilman Crestus?
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese?
Yes.
Councilor Fascio?
Yes.
Councilman Waldron?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp?
Yes.
Item 7G approved.
Making a motion for item 7H.
Mayor,
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve item 7H, the resolution 2025-37, approving the submission of a grant application to PennDOT Transportation Alternatives Set-Aside Program for $1.7 million project cost for Stotler Road's sidewalks.
Thank you. May I get a it didn't pass yet. We're confident. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council?
Mayor,
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I pray that this gets approved. This is good, and again, this is another, in all seriousness, this is another public safety measure. And for those of you who travel or even live on Stotler Road or near Stotler Road, you know that it is a very dangerous street, and there are a lot of families with children on that street, so I'm looking for this to be approved.
And I'll just echo that it is a public safety issue, but you would be surprised to learn, I was really, really surprised when I, years ago when I first got involved, there were certain, not this particular project, but there have been projects where we have offered homeowners and businesses to install a sidewalk at no cost to them. We would provide the labor, the materials, and believe it or not, people don't want it. They don't want the liability, they don't want to shovel snow, so I do hope that this actually comes to fruition. Roll call, please.
Mayor Calabrese?
Yes.
Councilor Fascio?
Yes.
Councilman Waldron?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp?
Yes.
Councilman Crestus?
Yes.
Item 7H approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for item 7I?
Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion for item 7I, Resolution 2025-38, approving the minimum municipal obligation for police and non-police pension funds for 2026.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council?
Mayor,
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I'd just like to ask our business manager if he would just so kindly just highlight this item.
Sure. We're required by law to apprise the council of what our next year's pension bills are going to be for both our police pension fund and our non-police pension fund. So every fall we do a calculation in conjunction with our actuary. So this is actually a big part of our budget next year. So it's telling us what our obligation is as the municipal, the minimum municipal obligation. What does the municipality have to put into the pension fund in order to meet all the rules and regulations? So the good news is that on the non-police pension fund, there was a reduction of about $200,000 this year. So the one, maybe because of the markets, I mean, it's a big question, but at least the police pension obligation is not really going up next year, and the non-police obligation is going down by about $200,000 next year, so that helps.
Thank you. I'd ask for that highlight just because I like the audience and our residents who are watching live. I would like you to know that, Penn Hills Council and the directors of every department are very responsible. And every time there's a cost savings to this municipality, it's a cost savings to you. Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome.
Roll call, please.
Councilor Fascio,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Crestus,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Item I approved.
May I get a motion for item 7J?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I make a motion to approve item 7J, or ratify Resolution 2025-39, awarding a 2-year contract to Materi Analytical Group, Inc. for the Municipality of Penn Hills Water Pollution Control Pump Station Maintenance Contract in the total amount of $609,360.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council?
Mayor?
Yes,
Oh,
Deputy.
were you going to go ahead and
No,
speak
no.
on it?
No, you go.
No, if you're going to
that's-
speak on it, go ahead. You
Well, we
already
may
got
say
it.
something different.
Well, I was just going to ask Scott if he would go ahead, or even if we have our municipal engineer, if he would go ahead and give some highlights on this, because this is an astronomical number, and we'd like the residents to understand where their money is going.
Yeah, so this is a 2-year contract with an optional 3rd year. It's basically just daily pump station maintenance across all the pump stations within the municipality. Your previous contract ended on September 30th. This was advertised to the Post-Gazette. You had one response, and this is the responding bidder.
Have we worked with this vendor? This vendor's had a good track record with us so
we
far.
have. This is a reputable contractor in our
And
opinion.
the amount is for the 2 years?
Correct.
It's not each year?
Correct.
Thank you.
So I think this is another example of, it looks like something that's boring and just part of what we do, but the reality is this is really responsible stewardship. You take a look at other places, and I don't mean to pick on the city of Pittsburgh, but but that's, large and comparable. I can think of other municipalities and other cities too, but we're staying ahead of the game. We're not going to be here forever, but these are the kinds of things where it's maintaining your home, right? We're not letting everything crumble. So even though that's a huge number, it's only going to go up. So we're taking care of business now, having everything maintained and properly cared for now, so that we don't, and the future generations dump something that it just starts to get out of hand. So I'm very, very proud of the work that our finance director's doing, that all of our departments are doing, and I just love the fact that we're keeping ahead of the game. Roll call, please.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Crestus,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilor Fascio.
Yes.
Item J approved.
May I get a motion for item 7K?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I'd like to make a motion to approve item 7K, ratify resolution 2025-40, awarding a contract to JP Environmental for the emergency replacement of a waste gas burner in the amount of $203,000.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Any comment from the public? Any comment from council?
Mayor?
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
Once again, I'm going to ask for the highlight, because, sometimes the residents will come to the meeting and they hear us, but they really don't understand what we're really voting on. So I'm going to ask if the municipal manager, or if he would like to turn it over to the municipal engineer, that would be fine, but can we please have a highlight on what this means?
Yeah, so corrosion of the existing gas burner was identified back in January. So a purchase order back in January was basically made through CoStars, through a specialty vendor, to get the part at a discounted rate, so it didn't have to go through the contractor. That part was on back order. That part is now in our possession, so this is the emergency contract to get a contractor on board to install that. Again, the work is specialty work, so that we RFP'd 5 contractors on an emergency bid basis. 1 responded, and you're awarding to the responded contractor at this point. Again, a reputable contractor and fair pricing.
Thank you. Any further comment from council? I just want to say again, this is one of those things that it's a reflection of. It's something we don't think about, or the public doesn't think about it, but the reality is, as we sit up here, we all are residents of Penn Hills too, and we are taxpayers. And we're elected officials, not necessarily experts, although some people here might be. But I can tell you, when I first started to read these budgets and so forth, I just compared it to my household budget, right, and the way I do with my husband and my kids and so forth. This is a reflection right here of work that started 5 years ago or so, right? It is so, imagine in your own household if something happened where the water heater went and you just didn't have money to buy it. Years ago, though, and some people were on council then, we were good stewards of that money, and so we sit here today and we have money to say, oh, well, there's an emergency, and we have that money. That is so, it's such a relief not to worry about those sorts of things. So I am very proud of what we've all done here as a council and what our directors and our staff has done, because when we get in a jam like this and there's an emergency, we're not living paycheck to paycheck anymore. We've got this budget together. Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Crestus,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilor Fascio,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron.
Yes.
Item K approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for item 7L?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I'd like to make a motion for item 7L.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? What is it? That's her job to say that.
Would you like me to read it?
I think the manager's gone.
Did you want to take it?
Municipal engineer.
The change order
Yeah.
item?
Did you guys read what the item actually was?
She read the motion, and then there was public comment.
Yeah. Okay.
We're at
So-
public comment now.
This is, much as we were talking about in the previous items, how you have that general maintenance contract. This is the end of the last cycle general maintenance contract. There was continual maintenance needed on the aging equipment. At this point, we deemed that $25,000 was needed to get to the end of that contract on top of the original $457,750. So this change order is going to bring the grand total to $482,750.
And if I might clarify for the public, the relevant resolution is to approve a change order for $25,000 to CWN Environmental for additional repairs associated with aging equipment.
If, oh, I got you.
Are we at public comment yet?
Yes, the public
Okay.
comment.
All right. Actually.
Please state your name. I'm sorry. They're making a record.
It's okay.
Thanks.
I take my time. 223 Detour Drive, Felix Hatwin. Actually, this last interaction we've all had sort of highlights a procedural problem with the meeting, I believe. And it might be something that Greg would like to give a presentation on sometime. But I truly think that after the resolution is read, that the public comment should precede the comments by council, so we don't feel so rushed. I think grasping the idea of the resolution without having studied for 2 weeks what the resolution is, we have approximately 2 seconds to formulate an opinion, ask a question, have it permeate our cerebrum. So I think that we just go a little slower on this. And then after you hear the public speak, perhaps one of your minds may be changed. And maybe we'll have a 4-1 instead of a 5-0. Or, you might ask a citizen a question. Thank you.
To be clear, we do public comment and then comment from council.
So quickly, you really need to give it 5 seconds. And do we need to raise our hands?
To be clear, I didn't ask for any hand raising. I just asked, is there any public comment? Any further public comment?
Yes. Could you consider that? Thank you.
Any
Mayor?
comment from, yes?
I'm sorry, not to prolong. I'm a little confused, Felix. You had suggested that public comment precede council comment.
We would like a little more time to understand what the heck's going on.
Before you leave, Mr. Felix, I'd like you to know that you can feel free to come up and get the agenda in advance, so that way you can study at home prior to coming to the meeting. Thank you for coming.
Do you want to address? Just to be clear, so the public isn't unclear on this, this is published at least a week in advance. You can get it online, you can get it in person, you can come here and get it, you can get it at the library. And I think, as it was stated, that was probably a misunderstanding. We always do have public comment first, and the purpose of that is in case you do want, in case there's something we're not thinking about. And if, I just will say, you have to understand, if it looks like we're going through these, what happens is that we have done our homework ahead of time. It wouldn't be very efficient, or it would be irresponsible if we hadn't read this ahead of time. So just please know that we're not seeing this for the first time when we sit up here, and nor is it available to the public for the first time. This is available a week in advance in many different formats. Any further comment from council?
Yes, Mayor, I do. To the municipal engineer, I'm never one that's big on approving change orders, so I'd like to know why this $25,000 came now, and why were we off?
So honestly, that contract runs for 2 years, right? Potentially a third-year option. So that number's set out without inflation taken into account. It's at the current value of where you bid it. It being a 2-year contract, just things kept piling up in the water pollution control plant, and essentially the maintenance caught up to it, and it exceeded the value of the contract.
May I also ask, if I've calculated, this is about a 5% increase over a 2-year contract.
Correct.
So inflation, tariffs, whatever.
Yeah, aging equipment, I mean, you guys have all been in your water pollution control plants, they're not perfect, they are aging. So when we set up these contracts, and this one's actually set up internally by you guys, you kind of project what you think's gonna happen, but sometimes you miss, and in this case, the equipment outaged the contract faster than the next
Right.
2-year renewal came in. So that's why you're seeing the next contract for more money, essentially.
Right. Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Crestus,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilor Fascio,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp.
Yes.
Okay, 7L approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for item 7M?
Mayor,
Yes, Council.
I make a motion to approve item 7M, Resolution 2025-42, approving winter maintenance with PennDOT for a period starting October 15th, 2025 through October 14th, 2030.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public?
Thank you, Mayor. Greg Swatchik, 648 Gramick Lane. This is the last item on the list, so I'm going to sort of piggyback off of it and make a comment kind of related to it. It being one of many things, I just wanted to point out, in the wake of the previous discussion invoking my name, I appreciate Felix's motivation, I guess, as far as I understand it, but to also add to the fact that you post on the internet for all of us to see some details. Sometimes they exchange letters with Gateway and sketches, maps, pictures, spreadsheets. So there is additional information that's presented for the public's consumption to prepare for the meeting. I think the reports are more than adequate, except for the things I mentioned tonight on my own. I'm not bashful to mention things if I see them, but I have no intention of giving you a report on
Do you have a comment on this item that we're up for a vote?
Well, yeah, but I guess I'm cheating a little bit to respond since my name was invoked. I want to make sure that you're aware that him and I did not talk before this. And, I'd like to set the record straight because he can't read my mind. I know my mind.
Mr. Swatchik, I'm sorry, but this comment period is just for the comment on the item, not to hearken back to it.
I appreciate that. Thank you for the rebuttal time.
Any further comment from the public?
Yeah.
Any comment from council?
Manager, this seems to be a bit of a boilerplate contract.
Sure, yeah.
Could you explain a little what it entails?
Yeah. Historically, we've always had a agreement with PennDOT whereby PennDOT reimburses Penn Hills for winter maintenance that we do on state roads. And so it used to be every 2 or 3 years that we had to do this agreement. And PennDOT is telling us these are the roads that they expect us to perform winter maintenance on, and then they provide a rate. So they've changed that now. It's going to be a 5-year contract, so that saves a little bit of time and money. And in the packet is the list of what the roads are. And they are giving us a little more. The rate's going up a little bit. I think it's gone up maybe 5%. I think it's in, if I'm correct. So this is an agreement that we have for the next 5 years that says how much the state will reimburse us every time we perform winter maintenance on their roads. And actually, I do want to point out that there's more than one item on the agenda this evening that we had to ratify. The mayor and I had to sign. I know one of the ones, it just so happened that it all came together very quickly on very short timetables to get things signed. This is something that's due back at PennDOT in 2 days. We just got it on Friday. So we're literally trying to move things along quickly as we can. So, but that's what this is for. Okay.
Thank you.
Any further comment from council? Roll call, please. Oh, I'm sorry, I would like to say one thing. Well, this is just another example, and I got to tell you, I mean, we take for granted some of the services that we have here in Penn Hills. Our road crew, they're just phenomenal. Sometimes, you know, we are the largest suburb outside the city of Pittsburgh. We are adjacent to or next to or border 10 other communities. Sometimes in the winter when you're driving, you'll be driving through roads that are terrible. You hit Penn Hills, they're clean. And when you leave Penn Hills, they're a mess again. Truly, my hat is off to our workers. It's amazing. They are snow warriors. They're leaving their homes in the middle of the night, leaving their families on holidays. I am so very, very proud of our workers. And let me assure you, if they were not capable of handling this, and if they had not demonstrated their ability to be able to clear these roads, which are not just for convenience, again, it's public safety, PennDOT would not, the state would not give us this kind of reimbursement. They're doing it because they're saying, we know you can handle these kinds of funds, and we know you can handle this work. So my hat is off to our employees. Roll call, please.
Mayor Calabrese?
Yes.
Councilor Fascio?
Yes.
Councilman Waldron?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp?
Yes.
Councilman Crestis?
Yes.
Item 7M approved. Okay. All right, thank you. I'm going to move on. Okay. We still have Craig.
Okay.
Where are we at on the
Manager's updates.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. This is the portion of the agenda that I've been dedicating to giving some updates to what's going on. Obviously, we didn't have a meeting in September, and it seemed like, even though that was a few weeks ago, there's a lot that's happened. And so hopefully I'm going to try to get through as much as I can this evening. Some of the items are things that we voted on that have a little bit more additional information that may be helpful. And we try to I try to present the information in a way where it's relevant to what's going on. And although there wasn't a meeting on the 22nd, everything here continues to move on, and local government continues to work. And here we are already at the budget season, preparing our budget for next year. So with that in mind, literally in 2 weeks, there's a budget due. We knew that, right? We knew that? Okay, yeah. So we know that because we do this every year. And so back in August, we started to have meetings with our directors about what they're looking for next year. And under our charter, it lays out what the responsibilities are for the public hearings, and that's all here. So on the 31st, it's presumed that I'm going to give the budget. That's the deadline to give the the public and the council next year's budget. And then there's some hearings that have to take place. But there is a point that needs to be made about under the calendar and under the rules of the road and the home rule charter, there's spacing that has to happen between the two hearings. So I'm recommending, based on the calendar, that we change the meeting to the 24th. I think as it was originally done and advertised, I think that the meeting was on the 17th. But if we kept the meeting on the 17th, we would run afoul of that charter language. So I'm looking for just a soft approval to change the meeting to the 24th this evening. So unless I hear anything to the contrary, or that's what we're planning to do. And so then we have our 2 budget hearings with an approval that comes sometime in December. So that's at least how the next couple of months will go for our budget process. And a lot of what we share here tonight and in some of the other meetings play into that if you've been following along. And so we do try to keep up with things as they're happening. Just recently, Meyer Dussel completed its audit of our 2024 year end, and I'm pleased to report that we posted a $2 million surplus at the end of 2024. So that's a graph that we'll be showing you again of our general fund balance there. And our fund balance right now is around $15 million at the end of 2014. So every year they come in and they do an audit to tell us what our finances are at December 31st. So at the end of 24, we posted a $2 million surplus, and so we grew our fund balance from about $13 million to $15 million. So that's something that we're very positive about. And at least in the last few years, we've been really in our budget process trying to call attention to what that number is and how important that is for the municipality. So it's really good news for Penn Hills that we're on much stronger financial footing than where we came from. And as the mayor mentioned earlier about making decisions with stimulus and how to manage money and so forth, that's a reflection of that. So it's to everyone's credit that we're able to have that. So with things being as good as they are, of course, there's something that we always have to find that we need to spend money on. And we was earlier this evening talking about the Department of Public Works and a lot of their needs. And so we've known for a while that we have to replace the salt dome. There's some pictures there that I took, that Scott Shepard took, but the dome is in need of replacement. It's about a $3 million project. It's a multi-year project because they have to get special approvals to build it. And so internally, we've been having some discussions about how we would come up with $3 million. And it's relatively a simple proposition whether we want to entertain paying for that out of fund balance or whether we want to entertain potentially doing a borrowing. So with that in mind, we did go out and we got some information about what a borrowing would look like if we wanted to borrow the money. And so this is an illustration of what it would look like. This graph represents the next few years of what our debt service is going to be out of our general fund. And so you could see that in 2025, we're funding about $4.3 million of debt. And that's all set to go away in 28. Our general fund will be completely debt-free at the end of 28 with the way that it's structured right now. So we was talking with our financial advisors about potentially what kind of a deal would it look like if we did a borrowing. And we gave them the number of $4 million because we know that if we was going to do a borrowing for the salt dome, there's a lot of other needs that we have, and I'll get to that later. But at least the sketch of it, and I wish that this was a little bigger. I apologize. Maybe when I print it online, I can make it a little bit bigger. But basically, under what they're showing us is that if Penn Hills were to borrow $4 million now, our debt service would go up about $200,000, and we would begin to pay the interest only on that money. And then rather than being debt-free in 2028, we would be adding one more year onto our debt service, and in 29 we would then pay the principal back of the $3 million. So essentially, the plan would be either to pay cash for these improvements or do a borrowing, and when we would do that, we would basically be adding one more year onto our debt schedule. We're going to be retiring our debt at the end of 28. If we were to do the borrowing, we would begin to pay the interest on that money in 26, and then when we would get to 29, we would pay off the principal. So that's something that we have to give some thought to. But we've been getting some signals from our financial advisors that now may be a good time to borrow. So I'm not looking for necessarily an answer tonight, but certainly if there's not an appetite to do borrowing at all, I would like to know that, because we have to have some idea how we're going to approach it. So that's what that looks like, and I could take more questions on that as we go. And again, this is all very desktop presentation. Our financial advisor would be able to come out and give us a little bit more hard numbers, but at least the sketch of it would be that's how it would go. So, and then moving on, as you were saying, it's timely. If we were going to do, we're going to be doing improvements to the salt dome and replacing that, and there's a lot of other things that are needed in the Public Works Department too. And, there's no reason that we would have to, but if we was looking at, if the municipality was looking at a borrowing for Public Works salt dome, we would probably, we've invested heavily in all of our departments the last few years, but we have a lot of investments to make in the Public Works Department, and there's about $1 million of equipment potentially that they need that might be included with that. Again, it's all providing options and ideas to the council, but I know some of these pieces of equipment are very expensive, but with the storms that we've had, that tree chipper is something that we've really had a use for in the last few years. So, if we're talking about $4 million, there's at least $1 million of Public Works equipment that potentially we could maybe put in with that. This concerns the grant application that Council approved this evening, the AFIG grant, and it was at the encouragement of some of our state elected officials that we take a look at that. And admittedly, we've been a little behind on implementing an electrification piece in our fleet, and so that's the bad news. But the good news is that we're really not that far behind some of the other communities. If you look at what some of the other communities, and I have sort of a listing of them there, but just to recap what Council was asked to approve tonight, we did mention earlier that there were the two charging stations that we're seeking funding for, along with the electric vehicle. So to the extent that we may be behind a little bit in terms of implementing, if you look at what some of the other communities have gotten from the program over the years, it's really more or less in line with what we're looking for. Some of the communities were able to get, $15,000 for, one vehicle or one truck. So our application total, including some of the work that Duquesne Light's expected to maybe do, it's about an $86,000 total project. So even though we don't have an electrification aspect yet, we are working on getting one, and we're really not that far behind some of the other communities. So hopefully we're able to implement that, and at least in terms of the charging stations, this is more or less what some of the other communities are doing that also got that AFIG grant. I know West Mifflin Borough, I know they have a charging station with a public one as well. I know Churchill does, because I've seen theirs. So we're beginning that process of implementing that. So that's the good news. The bad news is that, as we know, some of the funding and some of the subsidies that might have been there a few years ago maybe aren't there as much or in as many number, so we're contending with that. So just a bit about the Duquesne Light subsidy that we talked a little bit earlier. as part of the project that we're hoping to implement in terms of electrification of the fleet, Duquesne Light also has a program where they would be able to offset some of the installation costs. Basically, Duquesne Light will spend up to $50,000 to run the electric to the charging station. So that's what we've asked them to help us with. To their credit, I would say that Duquesne Light's been very helpful, helping us with the application. They assisted with some of the narrative. And so hopefully we are able to get this. It sounds like maybe we're going to, hopefully we at least get the chargers, but I understand we may even be able to get a car too. So that would help. But because these are basically for the code department, which is in sort of, I guess you would say, desperate at this point need of at least 2 cars. So that's ongoing. And because we're talking about it, we have to at least begin to think about other sustainability models. This building's relatively new, but there wasn't really sustainability, built into it. So any building project that we do, we have to think in terms of what it might look like and how we can incorporate sustainability. Even the salt dome that we're talking about, we're talking with our engineer about how could we have some sustainability built into that, whatever that may happen to be. And so that leads us to other future electrification projects and retrofits. Only the fact that we're beginning to budget for those things, we're beginning to at least dust off some older plans. We do have some plans from the PA Solar Center that I'll just share here with you, but essentially when we look at some of our physical buildings, when we look at the EMS building, when we look at our offices here, there's investments that you could make that we are pursuing in terms of trying to offset whether we could do a solar project here at the building. Some of our neighbors are doing that. Other communities have implemented some of those projects with or without grants. I'm just sort of sliding through these, but at least you could see here for like the municipal building, some of the estimates are, a $600,000 investment, but then there's the incentive part of it, and that incentive shows up as grants potentially and other credits to offset that. And then there's some other information about how long it would take you to repay or how long it would take to, pay for itself. So, really and truly, it's really a question for the mayor and council and their budgets as to how much money we're able to invest in these kinds of projects. I mean, obviously, you're talking about probably $1 million in solar arrays there, but we know we have other needs. We have $1 million in DPW equipment. So I think for Penn Hills, the really important thing is that we're beginning to talk about these things and we're beginning to explore grant opportunities in order to implement things that, quite honestly, we probably ought to have by now. So we're working on that, and we're going to continue to do that. This is some information about the application to the TSA set-aside that council approved this evening for sidewalk on Stotler Road. And it's a multi-layered application. Meg Balsamica, our planning director, under a very fast deadline, which that's beginning to be a screening process for a lot of grant applications. We were able to get an application in for phase 1 of it, but we have to commit to more. What we submitted so far is essentially a pre-application for that money for Stotler Road, what was the $1.7 million of funding. And as Deputy Mayor said, she's very hopeful that we get that money. I am too, but it is a long process. These are just some slides about what it would cover. It's a very ambitious project. I know there's a lot of easement work that's involved. There's also a footbridge potentially as part of the project. We're working with Gateway on that. So hopefully if the funding agency likes the pre-application, then we'll commit to further pieces to it. But this is a project that would basically provide sidewalks and it would connect the housing development at the bottom of Stotler Road to the library. So hopefully it's an attractive project as it goes, and we'll be bringing more information back to you about it, but did want to point out the fact that Meg had a lot of work done on the grant to begin with, so I think that might have been the saving grace. So hopefully we'll learn more about that. This is also something that you may be wondering about that we were asked to approve. This is the waste gas burner replacement. I asked our director of the water pollution control to show me what exactly this is. That is actually what it is. And you could see that it was malfunctioned. It's basically where the excess gas, it's the aerobic system. Yeah. And so that's like you have to have that. Like there's no waiting on something like that. It was an emergency contract that was done. And I think the price of that was significant.
Yeah, essentially that's the holding tank where the solids are held. And when things happen and the bacteria is eating up the solids, methane gets released, and that gas burner is used to burn up that methane. When you don't have that operating, the only other option you have is to vent it into the atmosphere. So obviously you don't want to vent methane for too long. Mm-hmm. So that's why that piece is such a specialty piece and why it is so expensive.
And that was at Plum Creek, is that where it was?
Yeah.
Okay. So also in addition, I just wanted to point out, we're already we've already reached the end of summer, but there was a lot going on in between some of the meetings. Elkistan had a plant tour on the 19th. A lot of community was there. We got to see what they are doing. Some of the people in this room may have even been there. There was a lot of folks there. And they gave us a tour of their facility and some of what they're doing in order to make investments to meet their roles. They talked a little bit about some of the programs that they have, some of which we take advantage of. They have many of these things may sound familiar because we sometimes vote on these. The Grow Greener program, the Clean Water Assistance Fund, which they were here for, and then also talked a little bit about the regionalization program. Hopefully we're going to maybe talk about that more. So they gave a lot of highlights of programs that they offer that we could take advantage of. So that was interesting to see so many people there. Also on the 23rd of August, North Bessemer held a banquet, and the banquet was held in the name of the venue escapes me, but it was there, a lot of council was there, the mayor was there, I was there, and so it was a really nice way that the volunteers of that department were able to get recognized. It was a pretty nice event, I thought. We're always looking for ways of thanking our responders and finding ways to acknowledge all that they do. So that was the first time that they did that. I don't know whether that's going to be an ongoing thing, but it was really nice that they did it. Also, we did have presence this year. We've stepped up our game a little bit in terms of having things to give to the public, children at various events, and we have now a table that we try to get out into the community more. I actually met a few residents there, and we were able to share some information about our senior services and things like that. Also, just in the last few days, there's been some other meetings. Yesterday, I attended the Rosedale Civic Association meeting. It was down at the Rosedale Fire Hall. We was talking about some code issues in their community. And Allegheny River Boulevard Preservation Group, I don't know if that's their technical name. I know you were there. So I was able to get to that. And as well, the Western Penn Hills Community Action, Inc., that is sponsored by the First Baptist Church, they celebrated their 31st anniversary a few weeks ago of their youth work program, which we use our HUD entitlement to fund. We've been funding and partnering with them for 31 years, I believe. And I'm having some conversations with their group about some other ideas and things perhaps that we are going to work on together in 2026. So we'll be sharing more about that. So that's what I have for you this evening. And I'd be happy to take any questions if you have any.
Any questions from the public? Any question or a comment from, about this particular budget summary from council? I do have one, I'm sorry.
I was going to save it for council comments, but I'm going to go ahead and interject it now. I just want to say that I wrote these notes down as you were going along, Scott, and a great presentation you gave. As we go into this season of fine-tuning our municipal budget and balancing it, I have a passion for a municipal budget. You know, 9 years ago, I campaigned on municipal budget, and I was assuring our residents that I would do my very best to be seated here and make sure that we always had a balanced budget. And I just want to commend our department heads, our municipal manager, Scott, and Sherry, our finance director, and to all our department directors. They are very responsible. They operate with professionalism and integrity, and you guys really make the job easier for mayor and council once we come here. Moving forward 9 years later, I see everything manifest. We definitely have had a balanced budget, and now this year with a surplus. So everything has happened that I'd hoped for, and I'd just like to commend you guys for really working with integrity, because not every municipality, borough, or township can say that. And I really do honor you for doing your work with integrity and professionalism. Scott, thank you for that presentation. You were very detailed, and you make the job easier for mayor and council. And mayor and council, thank you also for having your eyes on it, you know, and making sure that that budget, we go through it with a fine-tooth comb, and we make sure that it is legit, and you don't have to worry about anything. And I always say to our residents, it's your money. You ought to come and see how and where it's being spent. It's your money. Being here, seeing you in the audience tonight really makes me happy, because it's about you and us, because we make Penn Hills. So thank you for being here. And again, thank you, Scott, Sherry, Mayor and Council, and to all of our department directors for doing such a great job. You ought to be proud to be a Penn Hills resident or business owner. Thank you, Mayor.
So I had a question. The $5 million grant you were talking about, that's $5 million for the entire state, correct?
Yeah, it's what's allocated is $5 million statewide under the IFIG.
Yeah, so
And
it
I think
doesn't
we're
mean.
asking for 80. We're asking for 2. Yeah, it doesn't mean we're going to get
It
it.
doesn't mean we're going to get it. And I love your presentation, and I love the work you do, but I have to take exception when you say we're behind. I don't feel that we are, because you can't compare us. I say this all the time. We're the largest suburb outside of Pittsburgh. You can't compare us to, I don't know, yeah, or Etna, or Verona, or Sharpsburg. You know, when you take a look at the electric vehicles, we were following the advice that we were told. Like, for example, our police department, you know, some municipalities literally have a 1 mile square mile radius they have to go. Our police officers are covering huge, a huge territory. So that wouldn't even be appropriate for them so far. And I mean, the technology is going to increase, and I'm glad we're on it. Right now, as far as we've been told, it's probably only appropriate for code.
As far as the first phase, that's
Yeah.
what we're looking at, incremental.
Just for code. So that might be like 5 vehicles or 2 vehicles or 3. So I just, I don't like anybody ever putting Penn Hills down. So I'm just going to disagree with you that we're behind. I think we're on track, and I think we do have to understand there's only $5 million for the entire state. So if we don't get it, I'm not going to be upset. We'll just keep trying, and we're just going to keep moving forward. But at least we're on track for that. So I just wanted to be clear that that's only $5 million for the entire state.
Yeah, and we're not really that. We're one grant away from having some implementation. Hopefully.
And again, if we don't get it, it's not the end of the world. We'll apply for something next year, or as everything comes back up. Okay.
Mayor, can I ask a question about the manager's report?
Absolutely.
Scott, you mentioned that the salt dome was going to cost an estimated $3 million. That seems like a lot of money for a dome. Can you kind of be a little more descriptive? Is that just for the dome, or is there other things included in that?
That's the estimate that we have from Gateway on it. There's geotechnical pieces of it, as I understand,
Yeah, so
as to what makes it that expensive. Go ahead, thank you.
the dome itself is no longer actually going to be a dome, so it's moving more towards a rectangular structure with either concrete walls or wooden walls, and then a high arch gramble. So the intention was, in talking with Scott Shepard, that their current salt dome is undersized to what he's actually taking in. So this is an upsize of your current dome, and that cost actually is also inclusive of renovations of that whole lower lot area. So that would be things like guardrail, new paving, resetting the blocks, giving them additional overflow areas. So that is encompassing of much more than just the dome when you hear that large price.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
Any further questions on the manager's report? As we move to council comments, Deputy Mayor, any comments?
Yes, I would be remiss if I didn't back up and say thank you to our engineers. Gateway engineers, I really appreciate the dedication that you give to Penn Hills. I really feel like we're one of your favorite municipalities. I can say that, you can't. However, we have responsible engineers, and I really do thank you for operating with integrity too. Of course, I've never been a fan of when we go back and we have to look at more charges. So I appreciate the fact that you're already on it before I even have to show up and ask the questions. I thank you for being prepared, and I thank you that I'm able to trust you with our money. And I'm sure I speak for the rest of mayor and council and all of Penn Hills residents. So I would be remiss if I didn't, say thank you to you as well. I just want to say, you know what, guys, we're in a new season. Happy fall. Enjoy this season. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilor Fascio.
No comments, Mayor.
Councilman Crestis.
Just two quick items, Mayor. The first, talk about good timing. I received a text message this morning that started with, our EMS director, Diane Fitzhenry, is such an asset to our community. This resident's relative had an emergency today, and he said that she reached out to 911, and all Penn Hills paramedics were busy. There were no ambulances available, so they reached out to surrounding communities, and they weren't getting any responses. So Diane reached out to the fire department and the police department to get someone there immediately, and then she, like she always does, hopped in her car and went over herself, administered first aid as they were getting ready to transport the family member. She went above and beyond, made sure all the kitchen appliances were turned off, all the lights were off, and locked all the doors for the resident. And this is not the first time I've heard this about Diane. I've heard her hearing a call come in and putting her basket down at Giant Eagle to go respond, because you know what? She knew she could get there before the EMS would. So I just want to thank her for her dedication all these years at Penn Hills. The residents truly do recognize it.
Yeah, I'm going to clap for her.
Yeah. And then finally, just quickly, I did see, I think about 2 weeks ago, that the Meijer grocery store chain is looking to move into the Pittsburgh region. Given that we just lost our local Shop and Save, and oddly enough, I used to work for the Meijer Corporation for a very limited time, I said, let me reach out to them, see what they say. So I sent their real estate person email, said, hey, here's a location that's vacant along with some other properties. And I did not get an immediate no, which is always a good sign. They said, thank you, we'll research the properties and get back to you. So maybe in a year or two, yeah, I might see some movement from Meijer, but just want to report back.
Sound like your old dating days.
That were more no's than yeses, I assure you.
Councilman Waldron.
Nothing more to add, thanks.
I sit here and I look out and see so many of our wonderful residents in the audience, and I see Kathy Rayborn, the chair of our Shade Tree Commission right now. There's a project that was near and dear to our hearts, to many people in Penn Hills. This is going on for years. We're trying to beautify our entranceways. And this past weekend, Kathy and I walked Rodi Road. We started at the entranceway coming from the Parkway into Penn Hills, and you see the entrance garden, and then we went to the other end as you exit Penn Hills, and so now we're working on the third phase of this. I don't say this as eloquently as she does, but rest assured that her heart and the entire Shade Tree Commission and all the volunteers really are working very hard to beautify Penn Hills. And that really changes the quality of life in many ways, visually, and for children to see that, for our residents to see that, for our visitors to see that. We want welcoming entrances, and it also does have an impact on traffic calming measures, and there's always headbutting with that. Like, what are different measures that we can use for that? Well, beautification is one measure, and I don't think anybody could argue with that. There's always the debate about speed bumps. People wonder whether you call it a speed bump or a speed hump or whatever. There are conflicting interests on that. We have, some of our first responders, our firefighters, our police, our EMS, they need to get quickly. I don't mean to get into a whole dissertation on speed humps, but I'm just saying there are other various measures too, like we have the I can't think of what it's called. It's the display sign where the speed limit is, and so forth. So we are working on many different options for calming traffic. But the one that we really don't get any pushback on is the Shade Tree Commission. So we really do thank you for all your efforts. Yeah, give her a hand. We had the all-class reunion, and I think it speaks volumes. Every year it's just getting bigger and bigger. I think there were 800 people there this year. I mean, that's really awesome. People come from all over the world to return to Penn Hills, and it's so gratifying to hear the good things they say about us. As the manager mentioned, there was the North Bessemer Fire Department. We were invited to that banquet, and sometimes we take these things for granted, but it's really overwhelming sometimes when you think of what exists in Penn Hills. These fire departments have been here for 100 years. Rosedale Beach Club just celebrated 100 years. To think that that has been sustained through the Great Depression, through the 1970s, through the 2008, everything. Our residents really do come through. So although we are the largest suburb, we're really sometimes one huge small town where people really do know each other. And I don't mean to embarrass you, Scott, but my hat goes off to you, because if I don't tell you this, a lot of people won't know this. Scott attended the festival, and he attended Summerfest every single night. He is truly, at least in my experience, I mean, anybody can challenge me on this, but I think he is the most visible, the most active, the most proactive, the most accessible manager that we've had in the history of Penn Hills. So I really...
Thanks for all that.
Yeah, my hat goes off to you, because he is not obligated to. He could just turn the lights off, shut the door, and go home. He doesn't have to come out on a Friday night or a Saturday night to be with folks. Reverend Hunt, the church celebrated its 31st year. Pardon me?
The 31st year.
31st year, right. We've partnered with them. Really good for the youth. I'm very proud that we are supportive of them, and it's good, as you say, to see the fruits of our labor.
On one note, I did want to point out, and I talked to our planning director about it, our HUD entitlement was a little late this year. And we thought perhaps that it was late because of the impasse in Washington. But our money did come, so we're, at least as it is, our subrecipients and the folks that rely on our entitlement, they're not going to have any problem now. Hopefully within a year things get resolved, but at least as it relates to our entitlement, what's happening with the budget impasse in Washington, it didn't affect that our entitlement. So we just got that news recently. So that's good news.
That's good news. And one final thing. I mean, I think you just have to sit with this for a minute. It really blows my mind when I when I was first elected, and you saw, we had $3 million. That's it. We were headed to bankruptcy. I mean, that is like, imagine sitting at your bank account at home and going, where's the money going to come from? We were literally living just not even paycheck to paycheck. It was like going into the 401k. That's how bills were getting paid here. We had $3 million. I cannot tell you how gratifying it is to know that we went from 13 million to 15 million. That little $2 million gap is close to what we had to live on. This is really spectacular. I mean, it sounds self-serving, but it's everybody. It's a matter of managing the money. It's a matter of saying we're going to be good stewards. It's a matter of having philosophical debates as to how we're going to spend it. And it's also a matter of the Penn Hills residents. We've got over a 90% tax collection rate, and a lot of places can't say that. And I will say that I could never in a million years have imagined that we would be sitting here today saying that's our extra, when that is basically what we were living on. So thank you so much. Having said that, everybody, it's a little longer than usual tonight, but thank you so very much for coming out. We appreciate everything you do, and have a very good evening. We have another meeting come up.
You put her to sleep.
Somebody get the dog donuts.
I think she was worried. Have a very, very good night, and we have another meeting coming up, and then certainly have budget hearings. So thank you so very much. This meeting's adjourned.
Okay. No problem.